Good morning, students. We'll continue with yesterday's lessons. So yesterday we saw about different vitamins and their deficiency disease, and today we'll continue with food hygiene. So we are taking different types of food in our daily life, and we should know which is important and we should not take which is not suitable for our body. Clear? So the food material are there, the food which is have more water content and which have very dry. So based on that we have to take the food. So we should not take the food which is not suitable, which is spoiled. Understood? So there are different reasons are there to spoil the food get spoiled. First we'll see internal factors and external factors. So internal factors, how the food get spoiled. So through certain enzymes and certain moisture content, it can be easily spoiled. Clear? And if you take external factors, the way of making food. So sometimes we not cook properly, the place where we cook it is not properly cooked, and utensils or the vessels what we are using, it is not cleaned properly. So these are the reasons for what the food get externally spoiled. So understood about the food hygiene and what are the factors which used to affect the food. Clear? Okay, next we'll see about the food preservations. So always the food should be prevented for future use. So we are getting different types of food from all over the country and all over the world. So we are getting for particular seasons and particular month we are getting particular fruit. So it should be taken for throughout the life. If you are taking mango, mostly it is cultivated only or harvested only in April, May, in that season. So we are getting this mango juice or anything which is made up of mango will be getting throughout the year. So how it is possible? Only through food preservations. So like this, there are different methods are there to prevent the food material in different kinds. We'll see what are they. First one is drying methods. So drying methods, it is very much used to dry up the food material. So if you take certain cereals, so it should be the seeds are dried for long time and preserved, and it can be used for many years. And sometimes it may be used as powders. Clear? Milk powder, cheese powder, that can be the milk, it is in the liquid form, it should be converted into solid by drying methods. So by drying method, it is can be used for long time. So even certain fishes, dry fishes, and that can be what happens if you are drying means the moisture content will be loosed from this food item, so that we can retain for long time. Even food, dry fruits, grapes, like that we can able to preserve for this. Nearly it can be preserved for 5 to 6 years. We can preserve this kind of drying foods instead of using for 1 or 2 days. If you dry certain food items, it can use for long time. So this is about the drying method. So next is smoking. So what is smoking? Just the food items are sprayed by using certain smokes. Clear? The fishes and other vegetables are sprayed certain smoke so that it can be retained for a long time. This is called smoking. So that it may dry by using. So the moisture content in the food can be dried by using the smoking. Next is radiations. So the food materials are used for long time by applying the radiation, ionic rays like X-rays, gamma rays, and even UV rays can be given to certain food items so that it can be lose their moisture as well as the bacteria and other germs material will kill through that rays, so that it can be retained for a long time, can use for long time. That is irradiation methods. So they use UV, X-rays and gamma rays. So this is method of radiations. So next is cold storage methods. So cold storage methods can be done only for food which is which has more water content. So mostly we have fruits and vegetables which have more water content in their body, so that type of food can be stored in cold temperature, which is less temperature will compare to room temperature. So we see fruits and vegetables, mostly we used to keep it in a fridge, right? So that the fridge which has minimum temperature. So in this method we can able to keep for long time. So next is freezing. The freezing is the method of keeping the food in less than 0 degree Celsius, 0 degree Celsius, so that it is in freezing state. So in freezing state, what happens? No microorganism will develop or grow in that. So this is the method of preventing and keeping the food for long time. Clear? Next is pasteurization. So pasteurization is the method of boiling the food for long time. So if we take certain beverages like juice and milk, it is boiled for long time and suddenly it making cool. So this is called pasteurization. Nearly if you take milk, they used to boil for 63 degrees Celsius and nearly for 30 minutes. 30 minutes they used to boil in this degree Celsius and suddenly it is made cool, so that the germs and whatever the microbes will be grown there will be destroyed, and if we cool we can able to maintain for long time, can store it for long. About canning. So canning also, it's an easy method of preservating of food. Mostly the fruit, vegetables and other dairy products, fish, meat, all can be prepared or stored in the form of canning, so that it will be prevented for long time. So it should be prevented airtight container. So placing the food items in this airtight container, it can be retained for a long time. Next we will see about the addition of preservations. So what is added for preserving the food material? So there are two different methods of preservative. One is natural preservative method and synthetic preservative methods. So natural, there are three different types of natural way of preservative. First one is addition of salt. So certain food materials are there, they used to add the salt. They used to spray the salt to absorb the moisture content in the food substance. So if you add salt, what happened? The salt can absorb the moisture content in the food items. Mostly if you take fishes, they used to dry up, and after spraying the salt, they used to dry for a long time. And even the pickles, while making pickles like gooseberry pickles or any pickles, so we used to spray salt and they used to dry up for some time, and after that they used to make and preserve for a long time. So if you take pickles and other thing, they can be preserved for a long time, understood, dry fish. So before preserving, what they do is they used to add few salt in the food substance. So this is called addition of salt. So used to absorb the moisture content in the food. And same thing is addition of sugar. So even the sugar also, they can able to absorb the water in the food substance. It's a hydroscopic. It's one of the method to absorb the water content using sugar. Understood. So mostly all the fruits, they are made into jams, jellies and certain quash. So these are method to preserve the food. The quash, we can have it in everyday life. It's an easy method of taking fruit juices, right? So they prepared for a long time, and they can be whenever use instantly, we can use this type of quash for daily. Clear? So this is addition of sugar by this also what absorbing the water content in the fruits. Clear? For making jams, jellies and quashes. And next is addition of oils. So oil also, what they do is does not allow the air content to getting into the food substance. So if you are adding the oil, the air does not enter into the food stuff. So if you are making pickles, they used to add more amount of water because the air does not enter into the food. So this is one way of preserving the food. So these are the three different types of what? Natural preservative: addition of salt, addition of sugar, addition of oils. So next is synthetic preservative. So certain chemicals are added for preserving the food substance. For example, sodium benzoate, citric acid, vinegar and sodium, metabisulfate and potassium bisulfate. These are the chemicals are added in the foodstuffs to kill certain bacteria and germs present in the food. So it can be preserved for long time. For example, jam, jellies and sauces are made by using all this synthetic preservative. Clear? Understood today's class. Today we saw about how to prevent the food. So first of all, you should know how to maintain the food hygiene. So whenever you take food, you should check whether it is cooked well. Boil the food, or while drinking water also, you should boil water at least for 20 minutes. After that only you can drink, because the microbes will be developed in less temperature. So if you boil water more, what happened? The microbes will be died in that temperature. So not only water, you should cook whatever you are getting inside. Nowadays the condition is going very worst, right? You're getting more different types of virus or germs are invented or introduced everyday's life. So if you boil or cook the food substance, what happened? It will be safer to your life. So that is important. Food hygiene is important. We saw how to prevent the food for a long time. So that also very important. Different methods of preservation we saw. How it is dried, how it is smoking, how it is prevented by storage, cold storage method, how the fruits and vegetables are stored in cold storage, and freezing, pasteurization we saw, and canning method we saw, and addition of preservatives, natural preservative and synthetic preservatives. So these are the different methods for preserving the food. So remaining part of the lesson will continue from tomorrow onwards. Thank you, students.